Hey guys, it is Brado here once again, and welcome back to another episode of our GM Connected series on the Winnipeg Jets. In today's episode, we're going to go over the most recent advancement period that we went through, and a little bit better prospects. This was after the trade deadline, so we got our new players in. You can see Rask there. But unfortunately for us, in the first game that we played Carolina, a team that we really needed to beat, but unfortunately we weren't able to do so. We lost the game 4-1, but there were signs of good things to come. We had a good game overall. Just one of those situations where we give up the early goal. That kind of goes against us there, and a little bit of a squeaker there from Rask, unfortunately. And you can see that the score is 4-1 to end the game. But after that, we turned it around a little bit in this period here, really needing to get it going. This is probably the worst feeling of all, starting out the period of a loss there. And, going into next game, I made it a must-win. We had to win that game, and I put all the pressure on myself to do so. One of my worst things that I usually do as well is I like to play my games late at night because that's when I have some time to play. And I probably should have put it away, probably should have waited till the morning, but I decided to give it another go after my loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. We went up 4-0 against New York Rangers, though, which was a good start to the game. We did give up 2 goals late in the game, though, which were a little disheartening, but in the end we get the win, which was really what we needed, what was really important. And I was able to give us a W on the score sheet after really kind of struggling over the past little while to do so. And the cool part, too, is I found a new line combination that was really working for me. We have Lucic, Marchand, and Wheeler playing together. So 2 wingers that are just absolute tanks. They're slow. They don't move that fast, but they're about 6'4", 6'5". And then the little guy Marchand working down the middle. And they're all former Boston Bruins players. So it's a little bit of a funny mix there. But they had a great game. This is kind of their coming out party. Putting Evander Kane on the second line is a little bit, suspect in a way because he has been playing really great. But actually kind of works out because then it gives us a little bit of a 2-scoring line advantage. One line that's a little bit more bustle, and then another line that has a little bit more finesse to it. So it's an interesting mix to have there. But we get the win there, and then we move on to a game against Ottawa here. Get the 3-0 win, which is really important. Getting Rask his first shutout with the team. And he was actually kind of coming into his own. Like I said, against New York, he was up 4-0. Late in the game, gave up 2 goals, which is a little unfortunate, but it was close to getting a shutout in that one. Had a tough start against Carolina, but really kind of had a great game here against Ottawa, giving us another win in this episode. Just a quick note, too, at the end of this episode, I've got the standings for you guys so you can see where we're at exactly. I've been doing these with a little less context than I probably should. And start adding a little bit at the beginning of the episode, see where we're at, what we're doing, what the real importance of these games means, and at the end of the episode, be possibly doing a stats update like we'll do in this episode, but also almost always showing the standings, showing where we're at, and especially in the playoffs, you guys can look for more coverage when it comes to all teams and whatnot. And I'm going to be doing a Western Conference and Eastern Conference playoff previews as well, kind of looking at what matchups we have coming up, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well, just giving a little bit more context to what's going to be going down, because we have this advancement period coming up next, and then we have one more after that, and then is the playoffs. So we are very close now, and this was another good game for us here as we played against the Washington Capitals before the new GM came in later on in this period. We get a 6-0 win, our biggest win of the season, an absolute just a blowing away of the team. We get 6 goals, and it was a good game for us because really another shutout for Rask on the trot. He gets 2 in a row, which is great for him, and also the team was really clicking offensively. We're getting our chances, and kind of going back to basics, as I've said before, really playing a strong defensive game and then moving up afterwards. And it was probably the way to go, definitely, rather than playing more of an offensive game, trying to play that rushing style, because really it is hard to play that way, and especially with playing on Superstar, a lot of times these teams can be a real challenge to play against, and it's better to play defensively and work your way up offensively than give the puck away and give them the chances that you really don't want to give them. So moving on to the 4th game here, after getting 2 shutouts, we move on to a game against the Boston Bruins, the newly GM team that after most of the season being un-GM, they're still in the playoff hunt, and you can see here that we're playing against them in a game that's pretty important for us, and it's very similar to that LA game that we had, playing a game after a big trade, trying to show that we are the top team out of this one, and we get the good start of this, Evander Kane getting the goal there. A little bit drier because he isn't getting as much playing time as he normally has been. He's really, as you've probably seen if you checked out the stats, my top player that I play with, he gets most of the time for our team, and also I really take a lot of shots from him because he's probably our best player to work with. Now we have a little bit more options to work with, which is good for us, but at the same time too, he's going to get a little bit less time, and I'm not going to try and feed him points if I can. I'm just going to play normal, and if he gets goals, that's cool, and that's great for him. He's having a great season, but I'm not going to try and feed him as much as I can because that's going to definitely go against us if we want to get the points, because that's what we're really working towards, those 2 points every game right now. So in this game here, 2-0 in the third period, and actually a pretty good game overall. Boston's a pretty good player, had a good one here against them. They were close, got their own chances throughout the game, but we luckily got that first goal, which is pretty important most times rather than not, and we're able to pull away a little bit, and then we slowly in the third period were able to kind of close this one down, started playing a little bit better defensively, and get the third shutout in a row for Tuukka Rask. So a good string of games here, and after that kind of suspect start that he had against the Carolina Hurricanes, he turns it around, gets 3 straight shutouts, and that should help his goals against average and save percentage out, because he was probably, I think, the worst starting goaltender in the league. So taking a little bit of risk on them, bringing him in, but he's been playing all right thus far. And yeah, we move on to one more game this episode, and that is against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Closing off this episode, you can see there, really great chance for Daly, in close, had the chance to put that wrist shot away, just misses the net, could have gone to OT, could have got a point out of this one, but unfortunately for us, we get the loss here. And the episode starts off a little bit bad and ends a little bit bad, but overall, in the middle was the good stuff, and I felt alright about this one. It was a game that, probably should have done a little bit better. We gave it that really suspect goal. You don't even see it there. He just kind of flips it on net and it goes in. And then we were really pushing to get that goal before we went to OT, because I've been getting a lot of OT losses, and OT's kind of come to be a little bit of a dangerous area for me to go. 14 overtime losses, a lot of overtime losses, so I try and avoid it. We went a little bit too offensive there, as you can see, and that led to Matt Carl getting that goal in the third period, unassisted off the break, and yeah, he was able to get that goal there. Moving on, though, we'll finish up this episode, guys, with a look at our stats for the team, not stats overall for the league, because you guys get to see that pretty much every week. This is a look at how our players have been doing. You can see Evander Kane there, 43 goals, 13 assists. He's been our top player, and Little's been in his feeders. He got 35 assists there. And Wheeler has been injured for a bit of the season, so he's kind of dropped off, but he's still doing pretty good. And then Ladd was our other goal getter there with 24 goals. Now we got the new guys in. They're going to start contributing a little bit more. It's going to spread everything out a little bit more. And yeah, hopefully that's going to help us get a little bit more of a scoring balance throughout the team. But you can see lower down here we got some other players that, like Derek Meach and Mark Flood, we had to play sometimes. Rod Klinkhammer, I believe his name is. Guys that probably shouldn't be in the NHL, but we've had some tough injury times and have had to play some players. That's why we brought in some extra depth for the playoffs, because hopefully we've got a guy like Niskanen right now out for 29 games. That's a little bit devastating to us, but hopefully going forward we won't have as many injuries, and in the playoffs we got a little bit extra to work with now, so we don't have to worry about that as much. But yeah, after that too, we'll take a look at the standings here. This is our predicament, as I said, look at the standings quite a bit, just from a general standpoint, but this is what we're dealing with as the Winnipeg Jets. You got Montreal and Philadelphia up there. They're pretty much set. They're not moving anywhere. Our goal is to get in the third. We want that third seed. It's pretty important for us. And our big test is going to be the Carolina Hurricanes there, as we've been struggling to get past them all season. They've been having a great season overall, and you can see from their stats that they are sitting above us there. We have a game in hand on them, but really it's going to be a tight clash between us two for that third spot. And then even on top of that, you got to worry about the New York Rangers there. New GM going to come in, probably going to help them out a little bit more. At the same time as well, they're already sitting at 84 points of 2 games in hand on us, so we've got our hands full. Hopefully we can get home ice advantage. That's the goal number 1, and second goal number 2 is to get that third spot as well. But that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more NHL in the future. Thanks, guys, for watching.